Okay, so basically, I needed to record an intro. I didn't really have one. Maybe I don't know, but this is my intro for my first video. Um, Sorry for like the camera quality and the mic quality. I'm recording this on my computer. I think my mic was covered, like the whole time recording that, but basically, um, I don't know. This is my first video. Yeah, just enjoy the video. Like, subscribe. And I think I'll say that at the end too. I forget. I don't know if I'm gonna cut that out, but it's just a tier list of my favorite JoJo stands. It's not the best, but hopefully somebody enjoys it. And if you do, please like if you watch it, leave a comment. Let me know like any recommendations or what you want to see in the future. But I think this is a long enough intro, so yeah, let's get started. I'm mainly just gonna be ranking like my favorite ones. I'm not really gonna go into much detail on like stands I don't really care about or like just don't remember. Um, that being said, I think I'll still start with some of the part three stands, some of the stands that like started off. This is I don't know. This is sort of just an experiment to see if I can make a video. I don't even know if this will be posted. Probably not. But first off, Star Platinum, and I think I mean this is like I'm not for this tier list. I don't want to do anything too difficult. Probably what I'm just gonna end up doing is like what I like the best. Since I'm not ranking all of them, I don't think the tiers really matter that much. But for Star Platinum, I think he's a pretty good stand. Um, I think his design is good. I don't think it's anything too crazy. Like it's not all that creative or all that like interesting, but at the same time, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a pretty cool design, and especially for like stand. I think the most important thing though is gotta be its ability. And Star Platinum is kind of lacking there. I feel like his abilities can be sort of inconsistent and honestly, like not that interesting, especially in part three, which is kind of like what I'm looking at here. So I think I'm probably gonna go with I'm gonna go around a B tier or maybe even a C tier, but I'll put him at B for now. I think he's a great stand. He's just not nothing compared to like some of my favorites. So that's why he's gonna go in the B tier. And next, uh, I don't really have a segue, but the next stand I figure I'll do is Silver Chariot. I feel like this one has a much more interesting design. I feel like the knight like look that it went for is really like well done. I think the between like the eyes, which I like reminds me of like an old cartoon for some reason, and just sort of yeah, most things about this stand I think are really interesting and pretty cool. I think as a stand, it's got to be at least A tier. I think its ability again is kind of just the same thing as Star Platinum. It just hits hard. This one that has a sword. I mean, there's like for both of these, there's like small things like Star Platinum has like Zoom Finger and like a Silver Chariot can like shed its armor and go faster. But talking about how they use the abilities and how the abilities are, I don't know, just the main abilities. They're just and then nothing really special here. But I'm thinking around A tier for Silver Chariot just because I mean it's a great stand. I love the design so much. It's really one of the best looking stands I think in all of part three. I'll I feel bad because like I feel like I'm gonna miss a bunch of people's favorites, but I am just gonna move on to the world because I don't want this video to be stupidly long. I'll just cut to the chase. I think he's an A tier. I think he's just around the same Silver Chariot. This is my personal list, by the way. That's why I'm not ranking all of them in the first place. But I think I just said I dink, but it's all right. I think the world is much better ability. It's one of the more interesting ones in part three, I think. Considering that was like really when they started like going. But obviously, it's where they started doing stands. This is nothing else that special to say about it. I think the world is one of the best stands in that part, of course, being like Dio's stand, and also just I think it was like the first stand ever made too. So that's kind of interesting. But uh, anyways, I think yeah, just the A tier. Yeah. Next is just go crazy diamond. Like I wish there was a way for me to tell you guys. Maybe I'll put like a list up. Don't count on it, but I mean, there's a chance it could happen. But crazy diamond, I think is a solid. Mm, don't wanna. I think I can't put it past A tier, like in a fair way, but it's definitely my favorite out of these. Like I feel like the ability and the design really has to be a step above the A tier to be an S tier, and then S I guess would be like my favorite. I don't even know. I didn't plan this at all. I just wanted to make a really quick video and see if I can like make a YouTube video basically. So yeah, if I do continue with this channel, I'll probably do a lot of like art videos, like let's plays, like animated probably if I can. Yeah, it really all depends on what I want to do, and hopefully I like find something that people like watching and I like making. I feel like my goal for life basically is to be an artist, and I feel like YouTube is one of the easier or one of not easy in any way, but one of the more profitable and doable things to do in like our modern day. So yeah. Next, I think I want to go with hand. I mean, it's one of my favorite sands. I'm trying to see if anyone some I can't hear. Okay, the hand I think is one of the best stands in part. For I think it honestly deserves honesty. Did I just say honesty? I don't know. I feel like I'm self conscious on my first video, but it kind of deserved it. I kind of feel like I should be. You know, I still feel like I hear somebody, but whatever. Um, yeah. Then I mean, its ability is pretty interesting. I think the whole scrape. I can't talk, but the whole scraping away like space, basically. I don't know. I think it's a really interesting ability, and I think it works really well. It kind of sucks that he doesn't use it, Okuyasu. Um, doesn't really use it to like the best of its ability, but I think it's still kind of really fun just to see the hand beat the crap out of like Red Hot Chili Pepper and any other stands that are really I don't know, just doing things. I don't know any other stand that he doesn't like. I really I kind of lost a segue, but since I was just talking about him, I guess we'll do Red Hot Chili Pepper. I think it's one of the cooler like side character stands. I've had all of these in this year for now. I think I'm gonna actually bump all of these up to a S tier because I think it's just cut above like that level of ability. I think is just more interesting. Red Hot Chili Pepper. I'm gonna put him. I feel like A tier. I feel like me personally, I like Silverchair more, but I think he has a much more interesting ability. His design is not quite there yet. I think overall he's around an A tier for me personally. But yeah, I feel like I'm definitely gonna be doing much more stands from this like part, which is maybe sad. I'll put the like some of the ones that I kind of want to do in D tier because just for now, I think yeah. So Heaven's Door, I think is top. Actually, I don't even know where he like ranks on my favorite sense. He's definitely not quite there yet because I think his ability is even like the hand. Okuyasu doesn't use his ability well at all. I think Heaven's Door could have been used so much better by Rohan. I think it could have the potential to be one of the strongest stands if he were to just like focus more on growing his own power, if that makes sense. I don't know. I think him fighting Kira makes sense, like what he does in like some of those fights, but I feel like overall, when it comes to keeping himself protected from other stands and things like that, and keeping his like friends protected, I don't know. I think that would be really weird to not utilize. Like I think it's kind of weird that he doesn't utilize the stand. Like Kira Yoshikage can't hurt Josuke. Maybe that's not how his power works though. So either way, I think he's around the A tier for me personally. I think my favorite stands are ones with interesting abilities, good designs, that are also fun to watch. So really stuff like Crazy Diamond, stuff like King Crimson. But you know, it just in that vein. Next though is another one of the like smaller villains, and that's Aqua Necklace. I think this is kind of controversial, maybe, but I think it's one of the cooler stands. I feel like Aqua Necklace and Red Hot Chili Pepper, they might even be meant to be similar because they are really similar stands, and I think they kind of show that really well. So I think me personally, I'm gonna have to give Aqua Necklace. He's got to be like personally. I think he's like around here. I think I could even do this maybe. Like I don't know which one of these I like better. I think this one's design is 10 times better, but I also don't mind the Aqua Necklace design, and I think Aqua Necklace is such an interesting one. I think he's really cool as a villain. I think it would be awesome if like a main character had something similar to that, like one of these type of stands, like Red Hot Chili Pepper and Aqua Necklace, like somewhat elemental powers, less hacks, I guess, and more just like brute strength. Because you're sort of like Magician's Red. And can't, I still can't talk at all, but sort of like Magician's Red. I think that was kind of interesting stand. Um, but especially these sort of ones where it's like their abilities really less abstract, but also I don't know. They're like they don't have to be creative. They can just be really cool. To see in fights, and I think the fight was pretty good. But I don't know. I think it would be sort of a cop out though in terms of writing. I think it would be hard to write him as one of the main characters because he just wins whenever it rains. You know, there's not as much you can do when it comes to interesting fights for him. So it's probably why he's not as major of a stand as he could have been. But I think I'm honestly kind of gonna cut to the chase and just add some of my favorite stands, like the ones that I still want to rank because my mom's downstairs cooking, and I'm. This is like a this. Yeah, I've said it before. This is like a test video. I'm probably gonna have to cut out some of that ranting about Aqua Necklace because that was really unnecessary. I still haven't watched Stone Fruit, so I was kind of misleading at the beginning of the video, but it's whatever. Let's just go straight. We'll finish up with part 4, and I think the final one's Killer Queen. I think it's gotta be at least S, probably the top of S tier, maybe. Like personally, I think I might actually like Crazy Diamond more, but I think as a stand, I don't even know. I think what I'm actually gonna do is have this be like my top 5, maybe. So my top 5 is gonna be SS tier. So we got Crazy Diamond and Killer Queen, which I think are easily top 5. Maybe the hand could go into there, but for now I don't know. Killer Queen, I guess I should talk about it a little bit. Obviously one of the best design stands. I really like the duality with Crazy Diamond and Killer Queen. They both have like sick entrances, which I think a lot of stands have like some of the coolest ones, which just it is really interesting to see like um shoot, what's his name? Low Bomber? I don't think that's the manga name, but he like spreads his arms and it like uses them as a runway. I think that's sick. So, I think overall that's one of the cooler, uh, I don't know, one of the cooler, like, features that you can add to a stand. I think Killer Queen, Crazy Diamond are basically equivalent in terms of, like, objective coolness. Probably Killer Queen's better because, it's more original, so I'll just put it above them for now. Sticky Fingers, I think, is easily, it's gotta be SS. I think it's better than the hand because its design is, like, way cooler. Bucciarati is definitely a better character than the hand, or Okuyasu, but, besides that, I think he just has a more versatile and, like, more, it's just a funner character to think of. And I don't know, one of the most interesting powers, just, I think Golden Experience is one of the best stands because of the fact that you could use his powers in any, like, almost any way, and it's never something I think of, whereas other stands, you can sort of think of it, but it still makes sense, it's not stupid. And, I guess I'll just go craft work, or basically, like, arts and crafts, whatever you want to call it. I might not even be one of the names for it. Basically, the stand that can, like, freeze things in mid place, the one that Mista fought on the, like, train, I guess, or not train, the truck. One of the most underrated stands. I think that and an Aqua Necklace are two of the most underrated stands in the whole show. I think it's easily top. It's gotta be, no, I think it might actually just be an A tier. And Moody Blue, I think, or Moody Blues, I think that's just an A tier. I don't know why I added this one. There's not too much for me to talk about it. I love the design in the anime. I think it's better than the one in the manga. I don't know if that's controversial. I don't think so. I don't know. I think it's just a really good stand. I don't think there's anything wrong or anything, like, too special about it. So I'll just put it at that and move on to King Crimson, which are, like, this might be recency bias because I just finished part 5, but it might be my favorite stand. It's just too cool. Like, it's between that and the next one, but King Crimson is just insanely cool. I love the expressions. I think it has easily the most personality of any stand, and it doesn't even have, like, a separate personality from the user, really. It's just so expressive, and it's so cool looking. Like, maybe if I end up drawing some stuff for it, because I do really want to, I'll put some of that up just, like, to show you what I mean, or also definitely show you just some screenshots from the anime. But I think King Crimson is easily one of the most expressive stands. It's one of those stands where the ability is amazing, but also doesn't have to carry it. Like, for example, like, Killer Queen is just, like, a perfect example, kind of, where it's an amazing ability, but the stand could have most abilities and still be one of the best ones. And I think for King Crimson especially, I love, like, the personality, but also just I don't know, kind of just the aura of it. Like, I love the, like, amount of strength that it conveys. I don't know if this is just me, but it seems like they make him seem so strong, not only in, like, a unbeatable sort of way, like, there's no way for me to bypass his ability, but also in the way that King Crimson is just insanely physically strong, and I think that's a really interesting thing. I don't know, just for the villain, like, he feels stronger than, like, Star Platinum, which before him I kind of thought it's, like, the peak, and there's a good chance he isn't, but that's at least the way I saw it, and I think it was really interesting to see that. I think for now, I'm going to put him right behind King Crimson, Weather Report. Basically, the stand with the power to manipulate weather, which doesn't seem all that powerful, but it just is. I mean, between, like, him raining frogs that are poisonous and, like, kill you by the touch, and, like, just a whole, like, he kind of just has an aesthetic. I don't know. He's just an awesome looking stand. and I can't wait to actually watch part 6. Maybe I'll do a video like on my part 6 experience, like alone. But probably have to like write notes while I'm watching, which would kind of suck. But if this gets any views, which it shouldn't because this is a horrible video. But I think Weather Report has one of the best abilities um in the entire thing, like in the entire franchise, and I think he has one of the best designs. I think he's just, I don't know, it's just stupidly cool. I love all of the, like, what is it, like, I don't know, just the clouds, the, like, rainbows in his design, and the frog, I don't know, I just love his, like, whole look and vibe, and I think it works really well. I think he definitely looks better in the manga, though. That's one thing I'll say. But, and that's not really full tier list, not really my tier list either, but it's a tier list of some stands that I really like. This is definitely, at least these top 4 are definitely at least in my top 5. I don't know what Sticky Fingers, probably, it's probably going to be there. I might like one of Poochie stands more than him, though. But, you know, let me know what you think of my personal favorite stands. I absolutely love all of the ones on the top 5 list. I think they're some of the best in the entire thing. I realized I haven't been looking at the camera this entire time. I don't know if that would make it uncanny, or if I should be, but I guess I'll find out when I check the recordings. And, I don't know, have a good day.